are you today? So, today for Deaf in Music, we are talking about somebody who I think is a little controversial within the deaf community, within the music community for some people. Um, and we'll get to that in Two Shakes of a Lamb's Tail. So, he's someone who, when I first found out about him from the songs, which I'll show you, there are things about the song which I find could be empowering. There's also things about the songs that could be problematic. Um, and then there's also another song which I hadn't heard because I just the title of it throws me off so much that I'm like I can't even make myself watch the video. So I actually haven't watched the video before, or so I don't know what's in the song. But the comments on it obviously are not good. So we're going to talk about that and the social issues behind this context. And so you may recognize actually Sean Forbes from the video that we watched on Wawa Warren's Night in my first Deaf in Music. Um, and that one is linked in the description of this video. Um, and in that one, he is with Wawa Warren Snipe in the stand-up music video that we did, or that they did that we watched. My bad, I'm like not using my words right, but you know what I mean, right? Um, and so it's in there, and yeah. So today we're gonna talk about that dude. What we're gonna do is just check out his bio, check out this organization he co-founded, because Sean Forbes is not only an artist himself, he's also a co-founder of DPAN, which is Deaf Professional Arts Network, and we're going to talk about that. And then we'll look at the three songs that I mentioned, like the two where I was like, okay, I can see why so many deaf people do like Sean Forbes, but then there's just like this other thing that we're going to take a look at too, where it's like, okay, I can see why people don't like him. Um, and then we're going to talk about how I felt and about the whole situation from there as well. Um, and so, yeah. Uh, I don't know. I'm feeling weird today because it's a touchy topic and we'll get to it. Oh, and then we're also going to address some additional issues within the commentary as well. We're going to talk about what's valid in the commentary in there that I fully support people voicing. And then we're going to talk about where some of the comments go very wrong. We're going to talk about that too. So we're going to talk. So this one is going to be about deaf in music, but this one will also kind of be about social issues in context of the content that Sean Forbes has put out in regards to his role in music. So yeah, we're gonna like look at all of that. All right, so I'm gonna roll my intro and then we'll just get started by checking out his website. Hi, my name is Lexi, aka Deaf Child. I'm born deaf, hard of hearing. My team was one of the top teams between 2020 and 2024 in New Orleans and Louisiana. I began doing business as Deaf Child in 2013, marketing 2011, and sales 2009. I've earned 50 plus certifications in marketing and sales, and I have my Bachelor of Science from Loyola University, New Orleans, with a music industry studies major and a business administration minor. Visit my site at noladeafchild.com. Okay, so I was looking at his bio, so that's what we're going to check out first. So his website is deafandloud.com. I actually need to make sure, did I even remember to link all of this? Did I? I forgot. Yes, no, I did. Okay. This stuff is all linked in the description of the video. Okie dokie. So, We've got deafandloud.com. That's going to be Sean Forbes' website. And in his bio, he does identify as a rapper in here, even though he says it can be weird to be categorized it, because he says that he claims that's what he does vocally, but the music behind it isn't rap or hip hop. Honestly, to be honest, um, I would say that um, it was more of like pop music. I don't know. I feel like because of the history of rap too, there's very specific parameters also, and it's more of something where you're kind of invited into it, right? But also, he does collaborate with, like Warren Snipe, who is, the like thought leader of deaf hip hop or dip hop, right? And so, I would say that there is reason to associate him with rap, but um, for myself, don't feel rap is the correct way I would describe how I foresee his music. I perceive it more on like a pop, but that's just me. But yeah, there's a line in the bio where it says deaf performer defies his handicap. Um, and so he's addressing statements that are said about him. He's not using this like as, you know what I mean? So putting it in context, he's addressing the statements that are made. So I just want to say that these statements that are made are typically what you would consider ableisms in some cases. So it could be like inspiration porn, or it could just have this perception as if we're disabled, we are less than. And then there's also the barrier of where many deaf don't consider deafness itself a disability, although some do. It's a thing. Um, but yeah, so he's also a drummer, songwriter, and general communicator. Uh, and yeah, he is influenced by a lot of music. Um, And so, yeah. And then right here it says, but a deaf child can't really become a musician, or can he? And that goes into one of the many layers behind the name I do business as, right? Um, and so, yeah, fucking, he, got into music. He has been featured on a lot of news outlets, so he has gotten pretty big, actually. So in the deaf community, he's pretty well known. Um, at least, in terms of like being a deaf artist, we're not mainstream. So to get any recognition is like, okay, you made it like in deaf community, even if by hearing standards, it's like, well, he's not like that viral. That's not the point. You know what I'm saying? In many ways when it comes to our representation. Um, and so on his website, he's got his music, he's got some videos, and um, you can find out about his email list and shit like that down here too. Um, and then I think I had to like go. How did I even get to his bio? His bio was actually like annoyingly hard to find, and now I don't even know how I found it to begin with. So there's that. But that's the only. Oh, here it is. Okay, so on press at the bottom, it's the Sean's bio is there. So yeah, that's how I got to it. But okay, you can check that out. Linked in the description of this video, the deafandloud.com. So on the board of dpan.org, you can see where Sean Forbes is a co-founder along with Joel Martin. Sean Forbes is a performer. Joel Martin is a record producer. So they are on the board and co-founders of DPAN, which is Deaf Professional Arts Network. And it's also kind of known as a sign language channel. A lot of what they've been known for is providing ASL interpretation and access for a lot of major events for deaf people. They have a variety of services like captions, transcriptions, voiceovers, sound design, video edit, ASL interpretation videos, live streaming, studio rental, and consulting. And so yeah, you can hit them up and they'll get back to you. And the website is linked in the description of the video. You can check out the services there too. They also have a shop and you can contact them. So they're very big. Previously they actually stopped interpreting the Super Bowl, I believe, 1 year because they wanted to try and get hearing people to pay for this shit because they do a lot of stuff for free, and it's like labor and it's exploitation of labor. And so recently, the Super Bowl, who makes millions and billions of dollars off of this shit, has been getting a lot of clout and views off of the deaf accessibility, the free deaf access that's been happening. And yeah, and so that's also a thing that, but all right, that's a different story. But anyway, yes, so this is linked in the description, and he is a co-founder of GPAN. So these are ways in which he's been instrumental in helping with accessibility in deaf community. Is he started when he was able to get some recognition as a musician up to 12 years ago, where it was even harder. Where the internet, we had internet, but the development on phone technology was still to where we needed to have more improvements with quality, where we don't have that same quality and the same speed with the internet connection 12 or so years ago as we do today and things like that. So even back then, he was able to get some traction. And so he had two videos, one from 14 years ago called I'm Deaf. We have another one here from 12 years ago, Deaf Girls. These two videos are where I know him, like kind of, see him, found him from, and kind of my exposure to him that I want to check out. And then we will, I kind of was thinking that I would show you these two before I get to the critique. Um, Now I can't decide. You know what? Yes, I'm going to show you these two and then we'll get to the critique. All right, so this is where I first find, about Sean Forbes. I see him from getting shared online. I think I possibly found him through Warren Snipes sharing him. Um, and so he's got these videos out, and when there's not that much representation for deaf pride, and a lot of the information out there about deafness is people degrading us, or it's hearing people speaking over us. So to have deaf representation on deaf issues is a big deal in deaf community, and the integration of sign language and in his music is also a big deal. So we're gonna check this out a little bit. I'm not really sure. I don't think I can play too much because of copyright. But I want to see. I want to show you. Let me just scroll through because I'm not gonna play too much. Um, let's just go through. All right, let's just start. Well, sorry, I'm kind of trying to scroll through, but I don't know how accurate this is. Let me see if I want to get to the chorus and just show you the chorus, but let me see if I'm at a good part. All right, so he's saying deafer than deaf jams. I'm so deaf. All right, and then this next part is what I want to tell you about. He's saying I've got deaf tones, but I'm not tone deaf. That part. Um, where he's saying, and that's where people say, oh, if you're deaf, you can't make music, or people say, oh, tone deaf, so you can't do music or whatever, like using it as a slur, where all deaf people have deaf tones, but we're not tone deaf, right? Or So there's also like tone deafness itself as a diagnosis, and then there's the deaf tones where we all have that tone deafness, right? And so with those words and the wordplay in deaf community it can kind of get mixed up because there is a difference, but then it's all connected at the same time and it's also the same. I don't know if I'm making sense, right? Like a rectangle can be a square, but a square is not a rectangle. Um, But this part right here where it's like, where we use like deaf representation, calling out deaf slurs, things like that, these could be perceived, and then he's co-founder of DPAN, the Deaf Professional Arts Network. These are things that could be perceived as, okay, making some headway in accessibility for deaf community, right? And so there are reasons where he's very treasured. And then let's just get the rest of this chorus real quick. Hopefully I don't get copyrighted for this. If this video goes down, then I will just try and redo it. Um, Hopefully it doesn't get like the copyright strike or whatever. But yeah, fucking so that's this deaf song, and then it's linked in the description of the video if you want to go watch the whole thing. And then next up there's the Deaf Girls song, and this one, there you could say there could be problematic with some of the representation inside of it, in my opinion, in terms of when you look at like who's in the video. Is it more whitewashed presenting? I think there's some valid criticisms there. And then there's also like where it's just basically about sexualizing deaf women. I could see mixed perceptions on that because on one level, deaf women are the shit, and so the whole concept, um, you know what? Let's just play. So on one level, the concept, you know what? Oh, this doesn't work out well. Hold on. Talking about them deaf girls. Something about them deaf girls. So on one level, where deaf people have been degraded for so long, and because of marriage ban and people like Alexander Graham Bell trying to teach that we're less than and things like that, deaf people aren't seen as autonomous beings with our own sexual desires and needs, right? And a lot of people don't see us as human. And so on some levels, the type of lyrics could be empowering in terms of, yeah, deaf girls are the shit, we're hot too, fucking right. You know what I'm saying? And then on another level, it's like there's also fetishization of deafness and of deaf people. So, I could see where the lyrics could be going both ways of perpetuating pride or harm, right? When you have to contend with what is it like when you take it into impact. But overall, I do like the concept. I do like the way the lyrics were executed. I think, to my knowledge, and yeah. So, and it is overall an upbeat song. I think representation in the video is another issue, but the lyrics itself, even though there is, I think, a valid critique on concern of fetishization, to be honest, I still think that when it comes, because of how we have been oppressed and many deaf women don't have that sense of empowerment to believe that we are sexually desired because of how we're treated on deafness, or those that do desire us only desire us because of ways in which they can take advantage of the lack of autonomy we have in society. And so to have music that just celebrates us as we are from a deaf perspective really does mean a lot and is very empowering, right? That is a good thing in my opinion. So that's just where I stand on it, and I can definitely see why or where other deaf would disagree. Now, moving on, let's just address two. Well, because I'm gonna say two shakes of a lamb's tail, but I don't know how long we'll talk about this, because on some levels this isn't really my place to speak on, but on other levels it's like I do feel that I should address where I stand on it. But that's just like, I don't know if that's centering either, but either way, we'll learn. I think it's possibly could be productive to have a conversation about this issue here. And so Sean Forbes posted a video, and I actually didn't find out about it until recently, called Bob Dylan, and in quotation marks says was the first rapper. And I've never watched the video because I can't even bring myself to watch the damn thing because the title just really throws me off. And so from there, I just want to read through the commentary on the video. And in the commentary, I think it shows some really good learning points for why this is problematic. And then we can also address the ableism. So we can address both what could be, I think, racism as well as ableism. And I think there could be racism perhaps in the song title on Sean Forbes' part. And then we can look at what I perceive as potential ableism in some of the comments. And then after that, we'll just wrap up before we conclude, in my opinion, with a little conversation on what I'm processing at this time regarding like accountability, in my opinion, on this matter and what I'm going to be, how I'm going to be handling that for me. Um, so first of all, let's just rant to the comments. So there's 55 of them. I'm not gonna sort. Right now we have it on top comments. I'm not gonna go to newest first and read all. I think I'm just gonna leave it at the top comments and just read what's in front of us, only to not make this video too long. Because I think what's in front of us that I've already read is gonna be enough to get the points we need to make across, in my opinion. So one person said, people doesn't matter who's first or whatever, it matters that it's an awesome and wonderful music, so stop being a hater, just listen and watch. If you don't like it, then why are you watching it? Don't be a hater, he's an amazing person, he's an inspiration to me, so please stop. Thanks. I don't think people having valid criticism on the whitewashing of Black history necessarily means they're a hater. I think it's a time to reflect on anti-discrimination in general. And I think when you excuse it, you're kind of normalizing it and perpetuating it. And that was from Rosie Santucci 6295. And to be honest, in middle school, we had a teacher. I went to Riverdale Middle School. And around 2005, 2006, there was a teacher named Miss Santucci. And now I'm wondering if how xenophobic were we in middle school? Like, because we would call her Santucci, and that's very xenophobic, potentially, right? Yeah. So, memory unlocked right now. You know what I'm saying? Miss Santucci, if you see this, so sorry. So sorry. I don't think we called her that to her face. Um, anyway. Okay, so someone else said, I appreciate Sean for making music and not letting being deaf disable him. That's the inspiration porn ableism I was talking about. You know what? Let's just dislike these comments. Fuck them. And someone said, love it. For any of your deaf people, wear hearing aids. Sounds a must. Love the scene and music mixed together. Keep it up. Sean Forbes, thumbs up. Uh, I don't know. I know this person is deaf, but I almost want to dislike this person. I'm assuming this person's deaf. This feels like a deaf perspective thought, but to me, but in my head, I'm just like, don't tell me what to do. Fuck you. Um, and so, anyway, but also, deaf people don't need I mean, wearing hearing aids music can help deaf people process music in terms of converting some sounds into frequencies that they can hear. But you don't need to wear hearing aids, in my opinion, to enjoy music. As a deaf person, we experience it differently. Anyway, uh, then Zephyr Talking Trees said, yeah, that's so good to hear Sean Forbes with his style of music, words, and dance, of course. I haven't even heard this song, so I'm not speaking as to if the song is good or not. I'm just speaking to the social issue behind the context of the title of the song from my perspective, by the way, y'all. Someone said, very cool, love to see rap taken out of its old patterns. The video is very fun to watch. Some of it said, this is remarkable. Kudos to the makers of the video yet again. Someone else said, that looked great, sound and writing on board. I like the sound. What? Sorry, wait, I'm probably being ableist. His first language is probably ASL. I'm not processing. That's not them. It's me. Okay. A lot of deaf who are more fluent in ASL, when they end up writing in English, their writing in English is more of like a gloss of ASL than in English, if that makes sense, with word order and some of the usage of the words. Um, but yeah, fucking someone else said very creative, getting there with anything you want to please any fans. I wonder if that's like a narrative. I don't know. I like your approach to the way things turns out for everyone. Okay. So there's like a lot of comments that are good. Oh, here's another bad one. Someone said you better hear the song here quoted Subterranean Homesick Blues. If we want to be honest, we've got to say the first rappers were the talking blues singers like Woody Guthrie. This is not, that's not, no. This is whitewashing black history. The first rap originated from jazz, and the blues singers took their music from slave music. So what? So the first rappers were still black people then. So fuck you, Billy Wing 95. You can suck my fucking dick. Go learn some goddamn history. Anyway, fucking Arno Schmidt said it's not only about the rhythm, but the rhythm schemes. Rappers use the same rhyme schemes Dylan invented today. Oh my god. Bob Dylan stole from, well, actually, he took music from black people. He took music from black blues. Y'all suck ass, to be honest. And so let's just not even, all of this developed from jazz and from slave songs, and all gospel music, all country music, all rock, pop, everything comes from black music. Or native music, because they'll also be appropriating native music. For example, did you know Cali Americana was started by a native musician? Hey, fucking, anyway. And so we're going to ignore the ones that are complimenting him, not saying he does or doesn't deserve to be complimented, but we get it, he does make good songs. Someone said, finally, a song that's not about being deaf. Telling that to a deaf person, if you're deaf yourself and you say that, it's one thing, I guess. I can reflect on whether or not that's internalized ableism. If you're deaf, sick of seeing deaf only talk about being deaf, and you want to see deaf talk about other things, maybe there is a valid point there. But if you're not deaf, telling any deaf person about what they're making, if they're making too much shit about being deaf, that's fucked up. That's ableism. Fuck that. Um, and then someone said Dylan's in a rap song with Curtis Blow, and Dylan said he liked NWA. That doesn't mean he's a rapper, and calling him that is whitewashing black music, in my opinion. Now, this comment, there's a little bit of ableism with the differently abled thing, but, and then where they say, as a white poet MC, I understand the need to honor our lineage. What? Okay, this person, how is that? Okay. My dad is a native descent. My mother is totally European descent. Okay. And so, how are you gonna say whiteness? Whiteness is a social construct. All right. You want to talk about ethnic groups. You want to talk about your specific ancestors. That has nothing to do with rap. And if you want to start bringing that into context of honoring lineage or whatever, when we start talking about like maybe this has something to do with the context of something in the song, and she is, or I don't know why I said she. I think I see Chelsea Mike right here, and so in my head I said she. I shouldn't be gendering people. I don't know. My bad. Maybe this person, if this person is referring to something in this song that I haven't actually watched or know the lyrics of, then what I'm saying does not apply, because I could see like where they're just referencing. You know what? No, it still applies, because what the fuck do you mean you need to honor the lineage of white supremacy? Like, honoring white, like what? Like, that just comes off racist as fuck to me too. Like, so I don't know. That's just my opinion. Like, what? Because for me, it's just like if I start talking about honoring my lineage through my native side, and my mom's white side is over here like, we need to honor our lineage too. I'm gonna be like, fuck you guys. You know what I'm saying? Um, anyway, so then some they but the rest of their comment, it says your lack of awareness and respect for the lineage of hip hop is problematic. If you're putting your work out here, do your research. The tradition of rapping came to the West via enslaved Africans who carried forth the griot tradition, which went through many evolutions before the last poets and Gil Scott Heron made way for the birth of the MC. Well, then someone said, I don't want to criticize the video, but you're right. What? No, let's criticize the video, and he's wrong. Um, and someone said, first rapper, Pig Meat Markham, here comes the judge, listen to it. That is rapping. Then they said, I agree, but I don't consider rap to be music. What? That's, to me, that could be racist. If that's a black person speaking on their experience, then my bad, I shouldn't be calling a black person racist. But if that's not a black person, you know what I mean? Like, saying that rap isn't music is racist in my opinion. And then they say listen to the music lyrics and music of all songs, prefer songs with poetry to be helpful to the soul. As if rap isn't. Have you not heard Tupac? Fuck you. Um, yeah, no. And then they're talking, he said, I'm 64, saw all the good rock bands, talking about the Allman Brothers, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, The Who, Bob Dylan, Neil Young, and all of that. Um, I heard a rap song was MF this and MF this and MF that. Never be good for myself. It's just my personal opinion. They said personnel. It's personal, not personnel. It does not apply to everyone. All people are different. Love to all. You can't discriminate against black people and then say love to all. Then you're gonna all lives matter it. Yeah, fuck you. This is from Star One Man 214. They suck ass. Then someone said it was pretty good for a whacked out song. What? I don't even know. Um, and then someone said he was a rapper before rap existed. That's racist. Um, Someone said look up Bob Dylan's bio. It says nothing about him being a rapper. The first person to MC a rap was DJ Kool Herc, according to most historians. And then it's all right, Mom. Only bleeding is not rap. And if you're calling that rap, then you don't know what rap is. And they're saying if that ain't rap, rap doesn't exist. You can suck a fucking dick because you don't know. Just because rap doesn't exist to you doesn't mean it don't exist. Look at Diggable Planets. Look at NWA. Look at Tupac Shakur. The fuck you mean? And then you're gonna say Bob Dylan is rap? Bob Dylan is not rap. The fuck are you talking about? Anyway. And then now you got all these people claiming Bob Dylan is a rapper. This is just encouraging the whitewashing of history, in my opinion. And in my opinion, it does perpetuate white supremacy. Um, And then someone said, not watch, just correcting bullshit. This is from Alan Johnson, 2016. Said, rapping can be traced back to its African roots. Centuries before hip-hop music existed, the griots of West Africa were delivering stories rhythmically over drums and sparse instrumentation. Such connections have been acknowledged by many modern artists, modern-day ghosts, spoken word artists, mainstream news sources, and academics. And someone said wrong, and they said they got the first videos of the video of the first rappers from 1962, and it's not Bob Dylan. Mm. And someone said, stop dropping names and start dropping acid. Damn, how does Bob Dylan feel about this blatant, shameless exploitation of his name? Someone else saying, well, you're the first deaf rapper, lol. That's not true at all. If anything, I would say Warren Snipe would be in modern history that I know of, but I bet there's more that I don't know of. And I'm not saying I know for sure. I'm just saying, but it's definitely not Sean Forbes. And Sean Forbes, I wouldn't even classify as a rapper in my opinion. His music is more pop. It's more Backstreet Boys. It's like, in my opinion, trying to claim that Backstreet Boys or NSYNC is rap, in my opinion, and it's not. But Justin Timberlake really tried. I don't know. Never mind. And someone said Bob Dylan isn't no fucking first rapper. He's a pop country ass singer. Yeah, he's more pop, country, blues. So yeah. But then here we go. This one person said, "Dude, you're not," and that was for, "Dude, you're not even deaf." This is ableism right here. Autism, discrimination against deaf community. If you want to attack him for his racism, and it's not even an attack if you're actually just pointing out, if he feels attacked, that's on him. If you want to point out his racism, get the valid critique on that, go for it. But don't do the ableism thing, saying you're not even deaf. He is deaf. And hearing people trying to claim we're not deaf or they can decide if we're deaf or not is ableism, autism. It's part of removal of our autonomy. So August 5413824, this is discriminatory as fuck. And then someone said, I don't like this, but it says it's like watching a deaf singer trying to be a hearing singer with a little bit of signing. Disappointed. In my opinion, if they're deaf and they actually want to have criticism on the sign language, that's one thing. But it looks like she is signing, so maybe she's deaf. Maybe she looks like she's deaf. However, I'll say she's got some internalized ableism to work through because um, she's got some internalized autism, some internalized ableism to work through because he already talked about how he didn't grow up signing, and judging a deaf person for how much sign we do or don't know, even if you're deaf, that's discrimination against deaf. So she is perpetuating ableism and autism against us as a deaf person herself, which is very harmful. Um, and you know what I mean? Like, say you don't like it because of the racism. Degrading someone on their sign when they are deaf is always going to be discrimination, even if you're deaf yourself. That's just internalized ableism and autism and lateral violence. So yeah, that's where we're at here. So for me, let's talk about accountability. I'm gonna have to unsubscribe. I did just find out about August. So um we're gonna hit the unsubscribe scribe, and we're gonna, leave this video up to marinate. We're gonna talk about the good and the pros and the cons, Yeah, he's done a lot for deaf community, but what I don't like is how is that video still up and it's been 12 years ago? What about the accountability? Where is another video out saying, hey, that was fucked up. I'm sorry. I'm going to do better. Where is the correction of the misinformation? And why are you perpetuating, normalizing, and building and tolerating a space of whitewashing music, black roots of music? I'm gonna have to I might do a whole nother live stream down the road with some sources to back up everything we've been discussing today, because I didn't prep for that to go for. I didn't think this is where it's gonna be. I didn't think it was gonna go this way. I didn't prep for that, for this to be my discussion, and it's not something I really think I should be speaking on, because I don't believe in building a platform off of other communities, you know what I'm saying? However, I do believe in stating my stance on social issues, so I'm not sure where that boundary is, because even if my intention of this video was to focus on deaf community issues. What is the result if because of where it ended up, conversation wise going, right? Um, and so that's also something to reflect on. So for me, with accountability from Sean Forbes on my end, I feel, some deaf people, because of the things that he has done for deaf social progress, they are able to, I guess, they either don't know about that because they didn't see that, like me, or they're able to perhaps move past it because of trying to get access. It's very difficult. And so anytime you burn a bridge in deaf community, it's really gonna fuck with you. And deaf isolation is a thing as well. And so with deaf community, we're very serious when it comes to removing another deaf person from our space. Um, but that can also come with what type of environment are we normalizing and upholding in our spaces. And just because we're deaf, does that mean we then back up harmful things, right? And so from Sean Forbes, I'd really like to see some accountability regarding that video. I'd really like to see, some accountability with the moderation of that comment space. In my opinion, when it comes to listening to the people that were calling out, as well as educating the people who were normalizing and perpetuating harm. So yeah, fucking. So that's another thing. Sean Forbes, community. I really went into this like thinking, okay, let's celebrate Sean Forbes because that's the whole purpose of my deaf awareness month, highlighting these deaf creators, is to celebrate people who I perceive as thought leaders in breaking barriers for deaf community to have accessibility. And it is true that Sean Forbes has done so. I can't deny the success he's had and the headway he has made for the deaf community, but it's also true that that video he made was very wrong, and it's still up. And so that's why I feel the need to address it here, because it's been over a decade and I feel there needs to be some accountability there, right? Or, I know it's not my place. I know it's not my community. But I just feel like it's a good time in this Deaf Awareness Month to reflect on what do we tolerate in our spaces? How do we moderate safe spaces? How does intersectionality come into play? And what can we do to think about being better for each other? You know what I mean? So that's where I'm at right now. That's what I've processed so far. I hope to give an update one day where we can look at ways that Sean Forbes is hoping to correct some of this misinformation and amplify the Black artists and musicians who were the first rappers. You know what I'm saying? That would be great. That would be great. So yeah. Anyway, that's just my personal opinion. If I'm problematic with this video at all, I'm really only accepting commentary from not to ask for emotional labor. No one owes me shit. But all I'm saying is, if you're not Black, I don't really give a fuck what your opinion is on my critiques of the video. Basically, if you're not deaf, don't tell me shit about deaf issues. And if you're not Black, do not try and correct me on this. If you are Black and you have something you want to correct me on that I'm doing wrong, definitely correct me. I'm going to take that to heart and do better and try and issue a correction and make adjustments. But if, you're someone who's just mad that I'm pointing out, it's fucked up to be claiming that white people created rap music or something like that, then fuck you, get right out of here. You can suck a dick, you're not welcome here. Go on, get scat, fuck you. And but if you want to correct me because you're someone who's impacted by these issues and you want to make sure that I'm speaking correctly and not being harmful, let's correct this. Let's fix this. Let's get it right. Um, I don't know if that's helpful or harmful to say. We're going to learn. We're going to figure it out. Life is a journey. But thank you for joining with me today. Thanks for considering this with me today. I appreciate you. I hope you have a great day. And yeah, bye. Thanks for watching. Join the loyalty program at noladeafchild.com/loyalty and check in during live streams to get points for rewards.